My dear, the most important thing you taught me was that I am enough, even when I feel broken. You taught me that love is not possession, but a journey of healing and letting go. The most profound lesson you gave me was that I need to love myself before anyone else. You showed me that my worth is not tied to another's love, but to my own heart. You taught me that pain is not an enemy but a teacher, guiding me to deeper love. I learned from you that silence speaks louder than words when hearts are aligned. The most important lesson you left me with is that healing begins with acceptance, not change. You taught me that letting go isn't weakness, it's the strength to walk forward without fear. The greatest gift you gave me was teaching me how to find peace within my own soul. You showed me that love doesn't demand, it releases, it frees both hearts. What you taught me was that love is not always meant to stay, it's meant to teach and move on. The most important thing you taught me was to trust the process of life, even in its heartbreaks. You showed me that closure isn't always a conversation, it's a silent understanding in the heart. What you taught me was that strength lies in how we rise after falling, not how we avoid it. You taught me that real love isn't about finding the perfect person, it's about accepting the imperfect. The greatest lesson you gave me was to forgive myself first before forgiving others. You taught me that it's okay to walk away from something that no longer serves your soul. The most important thing you taught me was that pain is temporary, but growth is forever. You showed me that love isn't about possession, it's about letting someone be free. The greatest thing you gave me was a deeper understanding of what love really means. You taught me that sometimes, the most loving thing is to let go, even when it hurts. You showed me that peace comes not from avoiding conflict, but from finding harmony within it. The most profound thing you taught me was that vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. You taught me that healing takes time, but it begins the moment you decide to heal. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. What you taught me was that the love I seek is already within me, waiting to be awakened. You showed me that even in loss, there's an opportunity for new beginnings. The most important lesson you left me with is to trust that everything happens for a reason. You taught me that the true essence of love is not ownership, but freedom to be who we are. You showed me that forgiveness is not about others, but about freeing my own heart. What you taught me was that true love isn't about possession, it's about being seen and loved fully. You taught me that the hardest part of love is not giving it, but receiving it without fear. The greatest lesson you gave me was that it's okay to be lost in order to be found. You showed me that silence between two hearts can be more meaningful than 1,000 words. The most important thing you taught me was that healing begins with self-compassion, not self-criticism. You taught me that letting go is not the end, but a new beginning for the heart. The most valuable lesson you gave me was that you can't change someone, but you can change yourself. You showed me that love can be both a fire and a calm, both fierce and gentle. The most profound lesson you left me with was to trust in the timing of my life. What you taught me was that love is not a transaction, it's a mutual gift of the soul. You taught me that walking away from something that no longer serves you is an act of love. The greatest gift you gave me was teaching me that I can be whole, with or without you. You showed me that love isn't about finding perfection, but embracing the beauty in imperfection. The most important lesson you taught me was that pain is the gateway to a deeper understanding of love. You taught me that love doesn't need to be fixed, it needs to be accepted in its brokenness. You showed me that even the deepest wounds have the potential to heal with time and patience. What you taught me was that love isn't always about staying, it's about knowing when to let go. You taught me that healing happens in the moments when you choose to love yourself first. The most important thing you gave me was the courage to face my own fears and wounds. You showed me that real love is not in grand gestures, but in everyday acts of kindness. What you taught me was that it's okay to be alone, as long as you're never lonely. You showed me that love is about nurturing, not just receiving, but also giving and growing. The greatest lesson you left me with was to find peace in the storm, not after it. What you taught me was that loving someone means letting them go when they need to fly. You showed me that self-love is the foundation of all other love in your life. The most important lesson you gave me was that I can love without losing myself in the process. You taught me that healing is a journey, not a destination. What you taught me was that love isn't about changing someone, it's about accepting them as they are. You showed me that true love doesn't bind us, it liberates us to be ourselves. The greatest thing you gave me was the ability to see beauty in the brokenness. You taught me that love is not about controlling, it's about trusting each other's freedom. What you taught me was that heartache is not forever, but the lessons last a lifetime. You showed me that love doesn't fade, it transforms into something even more powerful. The most important lesson you gave me was that every loss creates space for new blessings. What you taught me was that the greatest love is the one we give to ourselves. You showed me that love is not about keeping someone, it's about letting them be free. The most important thing you taught me was to choose love, even when it's hard to find. You taught me that love is a practice, not a destination, and it's cultivated over time. What you taught me was that love never asks you to lose yourself, it asks you to find yourself. You showed me that love isn't about perfection, it's about showing up as your authentic self. The most important lesson you gave me was that I am my own greatest love story. You taught me that you don't need to understand everything to trust that it will be okay. What you taught me was that in letting go, I can find the peace I've been searching for. You showed me that true love never fades, it only changes and deepens with time. The most profound thing you gave me was the realization that I can heal and love again. You taught me that love is not a game, it's an experience meant to be felt, not controlled. What you taught me was that in silence, there is space for the soul to grow. You showed me that love is not about holding on, it's about knowing when to let go. The most important thing you taught me was that love never requires sacrifice, it requires authenticity. You taught me that love is not about finding someone to complete you, it's about sharing your wholeness. What you taught me was that true love is not built on expectations but on trust and understanding.